Okay, Darren, you can get started.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Just making sure you can hear me.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Just as more attendees roll through and join our group, I'm just going to run a few videos right now as we wait that. And then we'll get started in the next couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, sure. No, no, no.
File too big.
What? Okay, we've given a few minutes for everyone to join in. I will get started at this point. My name is Darren Hewitt. I am the lead CDW Adobe Solutions Specialist at CDW Canada. First off, thank you all for taking some time out today to spend some time with us and hopefully come out of this event with some tips, tricks, some insights that may help you in your daily operations and in future plans for your organization where you are looking to create efficiencies within the infrastructure you have today. Really what we're looking to showcase is a number of different document workflows and integrations where Adobe works hand in hand with Microsoft. We really want to showcase the ability where you can truly leverage both your investment in Adobe software and your large investment in Microsoft software to create efficiencies and really deliver what is needed for your key stakeholders, end users, customers, et cetera, within your daily workflow operations. Again, my name is Darren Hewitt. I work for CDW. We also have the esteemed Kyrie Watson here today with us, who is an Adobe career consultant, very, very adept in what we are talking to today, and will be walking us through a number of demonstrations where possibly where in your environment, you may be able to make use of these integrations and find true efficiencies within your networks. Quick look at our agenda. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of the CDW and Adobe relationship and give you a quick introduction into how Adobe is now marketing and delivering Acrobat digital solutions. And from there, I'm going to hand it over to Kyrie, where he'll dive deeper more into those integrations and speak to the enterprise offerings that we have for Acrobat, as well as all of those integrations within Microsoft, whether it's Office 365, Teams, or SharePoint. We'll speak to some of those today. Again, thank you for joining us. CDW Canada is actually celebrating its 20th year in Canada this year. We are now located cross-country with locations all over the country. So again, thank you for everyone joining today. Good afternoon, good morning to those that are still out in the West Coast. Thank you for being part of the CDW family, and thank you for working with us today. As far as CDW and Adobe goes, CDW is a platinum reseller for Adobe products, which is the highest accreditation Adobe does give to a reseller. Here in Canada, we do have 2 dedicated licensing specialists that do serve the Adobe business overall. I have personally been supporting this business for over 10 years now. I have seen how this product, this market set, and the go-to-market strategies have really evolved, matured, and changed over that time. So a little bit of an overview when we move forward here to kind of walk you through what those offerings will be. Secondly, CDW does have a complete international reach for those of you as organizations that do have locations in other parts of the world. CDW does have the ability to service all of your locations across the globe, utilizing our network of locations all around the world. So again, if you do have a need for international work, CDW can handle it, and our Adobe business is more than skilled to handle that practice as well. And a big thing for CDW as a whole, we are in fact the largest reseller of Adobe products on the planet, and we were thankfully awarded the Adobe Worldwide Partner of the Year Award in 2020 and in 2021. I'll be remiss if I don't speak to Microsoft as well, because we are speaking a lot about our Microsoft integrations. Very important for all of you out there to know that CDW also has a very, very large Microsoft practice as a gold partner with many, many certifications on board and quite an army of specialists that can help you out depending on what the need is, whether it's Azure, cloud adoption, even if you're looking at Microsoft services. Our team within CDW is more than happy to assist you. Feel free to reach out to your account managers or your support teams within CDW if you happen to have Microsoft questions as well. Sadly, I'm the Adobe guy. I can't really help you with those. So I spoke earlier about how things have adopted and how things have changed and evolved over the past few years, and certainly over the past decade. Today, document workflows really do keep businesses moving. Documentation, PDFs are used in almost every department, if not every department of your business. And each department has its own stakeholders, its own requirements, and its own needs. The great thing with Adobe and Adobe Acrobat is our products and solutions can really support and cater to every one of those departments that require it. And even better is the fact that Adobe Acrobat and Adobe Acrobat Sign Solutions really move across all platforms, whether your users are on desktop, laptop, mobile, tablet, working virtually from a machine elsewhere. They still can have access to the licensing they need and to continue the document workflows that are required to really keep your business moving. And essentially, over the past couple of years, Adobe has really changed how they are going to market with the Acrobat solutions. So a quick look at what is out there today. We have Acrobat Standard, we have Acrobat Pro, and then we do have Acrobat Sign Solutions that create an add-on to that. When looking at these different solutions, keep in mind who your user base is. Acrobat Standard, typically geared more towards a casual user. A few things that are not available in Acrobat Standard would be redaction, scan recognition, so OCR from actual scanned documents, and PDF compare. If those 3 things are generally needed for a user, that is where you move into the power user status and require Acrobat Pro. But what's also great with Acrobat Pro is your users also receive unlimited access to Adobe Sign Solutions, and your IT admins have some management and capabilities over that. When you do get into the need for more integrated sign solutions and more integrated sign document workflows, Adobe also sells add-ons for those products, which you can add on to your existing contracts and really leverage and utilize the existing software that you're using today. Whether it is a larger ERP software package or a CRM, there are sign solution packages out there that will integrate with those and allow you and your user base to utilize the software they're familiar with and deliver excellent sign solutions through the Sign Solution catalog. What we're really here to talk about most, though, is the integrations that Adobe does have with Microsoft. It is very key today that most customers out there are looking to find cost-saving measures, looking for efficiencies in how you do business today. Adobe really does allow you to leverage what you have in Microsoft with your investment in Acrobat as well. So with a standard Acrobat or an Acrobat Pro license, you automatically have access into the Office 365 world just through a quick ribbon bar to create PDFs. You also have access to posting things on SharePoint and obviously using OneDrive with these. So those integrations and the familiarity for your users already exist in Microsoft and in Acrobat. We hope today to speak to bringing those worlds together. Further to that, if you do move into Acrobat Sign Solutions, there's more integrations that can take place there using MS Dynamics and Microsoft Flow, allowing you to really build specific workflows required for your sign solution requirements. And for the IT admins out there, Azure Active Directory, using identity management, single sign-on, Adobe does integrate fully into the Azure system when you purchase Adobe Enterprise licenses. Kyrie is going to speak a little bit on that coming up later. But the great thing there is if you have invested in identity management and single sign-on with your Microsoft platform, you can now transfer that investment into your Adobe products, where your users no longer managing extra IDs, they're using their one single sign-on. And even better with Active Directory syncing, when users leave your organization, their license is automatically freed up and is able to be assigned to the next user upon the next Active Directory sync. So keep these things in mind as we move forward and talk ahead, where you do have an investment already in Microsoft products. And we want to find ways where you can leverage that with your existing Microsoft and Acrobat investment at the same time. Kyrie's also going to bring up a few different things related to Adobe Sensei. Adobe Sensei is the artificial intelligence and machine learning platform that Adobe utilizes. It has been in use for a long time on the creative side. Think about easy picture correction within Photoshop. There has been Sensei built into that for some time. But this technology is really bleeding through into the document management world, making it easier to create forms, making it easier to fill out forms for your end users, clean up images within the forms. So when Kyrie does mention Adobe Sensei, just make note that that is referencing the artificial intelligence and machine learning systems that Adobe is putting in place. And those engines are built into all of the document cloud solutions, such as Acrobat and Adobe Sign, as well as different creative applications out there as well. So with that, I am going to introduce you to Kyrie Watson, who is going to take over and run you through some more detailed and in-depth demonstrations on how the Adobe and Microsoft products work together, as well as a couple of different looks on how managing users is simplified through these processes. So what I will do right now is drop my screen and hand it over to Kyrie. As I mentioned earlier, we are a platinum reseller with Adobe. So having this type of a relationship is great for us, where we do get access and resources such as Kyrie that can come along and help us out with demonstrations like that. So Kyrie, over to you. I will put my mic on mute now.
Thank you for that, Darren. Appreciate it. Thank you all for joining today. As Darren mentioned, my name is Kyrie Watson, the Solutions Consultant for Adobe. So covering all things Creative Cloud and Document Cloud from a technical perspective. Today, I'll be doing a number of things. I'll be showing you a lot of different capabilities you'll have, especially for the admins that you'll have as an enterprise client of Acrobat, especially within the admin console, to secure users a bit more, but also introducing that conversation that Darren alluded to with the Azure, configuring that to your admin console to ensure that your users are authenticating when they're logging into their products. Then I'll do a quick overview of Acrobat and Acrobat Sign, the UI, some of the new tools and helpful tools you can leverage, yourself and your teams can leverage when managing it. Then lastly, I'll touch on the Microsoft 365 integrations. I know that's what we're all waiting for, to see some of the great tools and plugins that we have available within Microsoft, and also that can be integrated within Acrobat. So I'll be covering a lot. That's why I have this visual here so we can stay following along. So first, we'll start off with Acrobat Enterprise, some of the tools that you'll be able to leverage with security and also managing your users and licenses. So this is the admin console. This is really where you'll see an overview, where you have the lay of the land of everything that you're managing within your your Adobe environment. So that includes all of your Adobe products, all of your users within it. If I scroll a little bit further, you can see some of the storage that's been allocated or managed by your IT individuals. And then if you want to see some of the latest and greatest stuff pertaining to all of our different fields, whether it's Creative Cloud, Document Cloud, or Experience Cloud, all of that can be viewed here. So I mentioned that you can connect your Azure environment, your identity provider into the admin console to ensure that your users will authenticate properly. Where you would do that is here within the settings tab of the admin console. Once it loads up, you'll see a lot of our different directories and domains that we manage within this console. You can easily set up your own by selecting Create Directory. From here, you'll just choose a name. For now, I'll just do KW Test, some great initials there. And now choose Federated ID. And as you see, Federated ID is what supports single sign-on authentication. So if you want your users to log into their Acrobat and then go to the Azure process to log in via there, this is what you would select. And then you see we have a number of options, Microsoft Azure being one of them, where you will be the global admin. Once you select this option, you'll be transferred to the Microsoft Azure side, where as a global admin, you'll be able to connect that process, enable your users to log in via SSO. And I know this is helpful for the IT folks on the call because managing all the different passwords, I'm pretty sure y'all get emails, hey, I forgot my password here and there. Now you don't really have to worry about that process. It's all single sign-on authentication. All they need to do is authenticate and they can be prepared to go. Another security setting that I always enjoy showing, I think is very pivotal, is this asset settings. And this works for both Creative Cloud and Document Cloud, where you can control and govern who and what content your end users can share out to external or internal individuals. So let's say, for example, you want to lock things down, have a lot of governance for your end users to be able to share documents to only individuals within your organization or quote unquote within their same domain. You have that option here. We can exclude any individuals to share documents to external folks and only include them to be able to share to internal. Now, if you do have some collaborations, if you do collaborate outside of your own domain, IT folks, you can easily put whitelist a number of different domains here. So that way, those users can now share documents to the authorized domains and continue that process thoroughly. Another feature I'd like to showcase is access request policy. And this will really show the visual of, let's say I have a document and I share that document to Darren. Darren then shares that to you. Since we're not necessarily a part of the same organization, it will really notify me as an owner of that document that someone else outside of my organization attempted to use that document or leverage it. I can either allow that person to use it or deny it. This controls that whole use case. So again, two helpful tools to really control and govern who your users can share content to, but also have some authority and see what they want to do. And that's just one value of the Enterprise console, Enterprise with Acrobat. Another one is being able to leverage product profiles. So product profiles, just in simple terms, a bucket of licenses and services. That's something that you can manage as an Acrobat Enterprise customer here within the admin console. And this interface right here, as I selected within the specific product at Acrobat Pro DC, this is where I will be able to create and manage and administer those product profiles that I would then assign to users or user groups. I mentioned that they have services. Where you will manage those services is here within the settings tab. Let me select showcase right there. It's where you see the minute details of each of those product profiles. You can see the number of users that have been assigned to this product profile, the license quota. Please don't be alarmed by the numbers. This is a demo console, but you see that as possible. Again, below you see the services that you can configure and also user notifications. I like to showcase this user notifications tool just so when you're making a lot of changes within the admin console, usually end users will be notified that, hey, you've been assigned this license, or hey, you've been removed from this license. If you want to keep that all under wraps and want to make sure it's only individuals within your IT group that knows about these changes, you can turn the setting off. So now those end users will not have any notification that they have been removed from a license. Now, if you want them to be known about that, that option is turned on too. Going back up here to the settings, this is a great tool to leverage if you want to make sure that your users have those Microsoft 365 integrations. PDF services allow your user to access the PDF services, access the Acrobat services while on SharePoint, OneDrive, any Microsoft 365 products. they can access those tools. So they can create, manage, edit, combine any documents on those platforms. Now, if you want to lock things down and ensure that there's no cloud access for those users, you can turn this setting off. But it's always great to have this on if they're using SharePoint, OneDrive, any of those Microsoft 365 products with Acrobat. And again, product profiles, just a bucket of licenses and services that you would then assign to the user group. And not to mention user groups. This is kind of pertaining to that conversation that Darren mentioned earlier, where you can have our Azure AD Sync tool to bring in any of your user groups that you're managing from your Active Directory. And that will be set up here within the settings tab as well. But it's a really great tool to kind of speed up that process of adding users into the admin console. I know it can take a long time to add them individually. Using that sync tool with Azure, you can bring those users in automatically. It only takes about 30 or so minutes to set it up. So those are just a few of the settings that you can leverage within the admin console as your Acrobat for Enterprise customer. One, SSO integrations, as well as the Azure Sync tool to bring those users in a smooth fashion, as well as product profiles. And the real value of that, obviously restricting your users, making sure content doesn't go out where it doesn't need to go with those asset settings, but also streamlining the process of user and product management with product profiles. Next, I'll showcase a little bit of the Acrobat and Sign UI. It's very simple, but it's also customizable and very powerful. So I'll just showcase some of the new stuff we have there. So you may see, hopefully y'all still see my screen. I'm in the Acrobat interface, and this is maybe something familiar to you all. We also have this option where you can see the new Acrobat interface. And this is something I can showcase that you can see also if you want to just open up your Acrobat and have this enabled. But I don't want to showcase that now, just to make sure things flow smoothly and properly. But you also see that these are a lot of our quick action tools that you can leverage immediately once you log on to Acrobat for the desktop. You can easily combine files, share files, organize files automatically once you log in. So no longer needs to go through the tools, trying to find out what do I need, what am I looking for? It's automatically right there in front of your face. Also, if I scroll down on the left-hand side, you see the Adobe Cloud Storages, where you can manage your documents within your cloud Adobe Cloud Storage. But one thing I do like to showcase is Adobe Scan. And this is a really nice tool that you can have on your mobile application, whether that's your tablet or your cell phone, etc., where you can scan documents, maybe loose leaf documents that you need to upload and manage here, make some edits. This is a great application, so please don't hesitate to look it up. It's on all platforms, whether that's Apple or Google. Make sure you guys check it out. And then one thing I do want to mention is these different file storages that you can easily manage, easily add to your end user's environment when you deploy Acrobat. So when we obviously have integrations with Box, Dropbox, but also OneDrive and SharePoint. And I'll dive into a little bit more on that once we go into the different integration topics. So I'm gonna go into one of these documents. It's just a fill document that needs to be worked on. And you see just a very clean document. Nothing has been changed, nothing has been added, but I do need to make some changes here and add some information. So I'm just going to select the fill and sign. And leveraging our Adobe Sensei AI technology, it analyzed the documents and found that there's fields that need to be inputted. And you see how quickly that happened. I just selected the button and automatically uploaded it there. So now I know exactly where I need to place the information. I can check this box. I can put my name here and there. And all that was really done within a matter of seconds. And that was leveraging our Adobe Sensei AI technology. So now I'm gonna go to Adobe Sign. So here within Adobe Sign, again, very simple, very sleek, very smooth platform. But this is really where you'll be able to send those documents out to who you needs to go to. Here at the home page, you see again, we have those quick automatic resources to automatically continue that process once you log in. So if you need to send documents in bulk, that's there. If you need to use a workflow that you already have available, that's already there too. Next tab is where you can send documents. This is where you can send documents to any individuals that you need. You can insert their email address. Let me just input mine right now. Automatically popped up. And then you can also control how you want that user to authenticate to be able to access this document. You can place a password that only you and that individual would know, knowledge-based assessment, so specific questions that only that individual will know, and other options here. You can input a message that you'll see me put later on in the demo, and then add a number of files you can either pull from your accounts, your storage accounts, like I mentioned, OneDrive, SharePoint, etc., or you can just pull locally from your desktop. This option is available too. Next, within the Manage tab, this is really where you'll manage all of your documents that you either have shared or are in progress. And you also can see what's waiting on you. As you see, I'm pretty punctual. You see I have nothing waiting on me, which is a good sign. But you can also see I have a lot of things that's already been completed. And this is where you can manage all those things that you're currently working on. Workflow section, this is where you'll manage all the workflows that you're working on. I do always like to mention that Adobe Acrobat Sign is one of the only platforms that has Power Automate natively integrated within it. So if you access Adobe Sign, you'll automatically see Power Automate. You can leverage those different workflows to ensure that your documents are going where they need to go. You see I have a couple already configured. Now, if you have custom workflows that you need to work on for your teams, the option is available here. You can just easily create a workflow if necessary. And then once those workflows are configured, you already sent out the documents, you can easily go here to the reports and see what's been done. You can see any of the transactions that's been sent out, some of the consumption of that, some of the settings, any of the agreements that you're managing. All that information is here that you can manage. And then with the account admins, this is seriously for those admins. This is where you would manage those settings for your individual teams, how you want them to be able to send documents, if you want them to have authentication within Sign, if you want them to have different parts or be able to add attachments to documents within your Sign. These options are all available here, especially within workflows. I did want to mention that Acrobat can be leveraged on all different platforms. Obviously, the desktop was what I showed earlier, but you can access it on the browser too. So you see I'm already logged into my browser version of Acrobat. You see immediately, like I said before, we want to make sure things are very easy and smooth for you when you log into your products. So you see we have all these quick actions immediately available, so you can continue that process and not have to search for the tools. And again, it's very consistent and very cohesive with what I was working on before within my desktop version. You see I have the NDA already at top. A lot of the stuff I was already working on is already there, so I won't have to look, even open up my whole files. It'll automatically be there as recent. Darren mentioned this a little bit earlier, some of the tools that are available. You can see that here within the desktop or the browser version. You see all the tools, but you can also view what's available only on desktop, such as redaction, such as scanning OCR for those Acrobat Pro users. And then you can see what you use from the mobile. Acrobat Reader, that handy dandy Adobe Scan, as well as Sign. All of these can be used on mobile, so you can just continue that process wherever you're working at. And then a lot of these great tools are available via the web too. So let's say you're on a machine that doesn't necessarily have Acrobat installed onto it. You can just log onto your Acrobat account and continue that process of working. No need to worry about not being able to get things done. You can just go onto the browser, acrobat.adobe.com, and continue that work. So hopefully seeing this was super helpful. Also very helpful to be able to see that you can work anywhere and everywhere leveraging Adobe Acrobat. And the real value of that, like I said before, reducing clicks. Like I said, all those quick actions, all those tools are immediately there available for you once you log into the product. And then it saves time, because then again, you don't have to wait about having to hurry up and get to the office, because you can only use Acrobat on your machine, on your corporate machine. You can access it on your mobile device, whether it's on a tablet or a cell phone, or even just on a different machine. You can just go onto the browser, acrobat.adobe.com, and log into it. So next, the main part of the show, the different integrations that we have within Acrobat and Microsoft 365. The real value of that is being able to automate, streamline those document workflows, and make sure things get done in a timely fashion. So let me go here. I was just within Acrobat. As I said before, you easily configure that within your storage accounts to ensure that your end users or yourself are pulling from documents that are from your OneDrive account or from your SharePoint account. This is natively within Acrobat, so no need to worry about that, having to manually do anything. But also, this can be done immediately from OneDrive or SharePoint. So you see I'm within my OneDrive account, I have a lot of documents that I'm managing. I can easily just select one of these. Let me just select this mock NDA and just be able to see, you can see this ellipses up here. And you see I have the option to leverage Adobe Document Cloud and create a PDF or combine files with PDF. And these are automatically available because I'm an Adobe Acrobat client or Adobe Acrobat user. And again, this is be able to be managed from that product profile that I mentioned earlier, that PDF services tool that I toggled on or off. Again, trying to bring a whole story together. That service tool that I mentioned before in the admin console will enable your users to have this capability. They'll be able to go here to these ellipses and be able to create or combine PDFs. And they can select multiple of them and combine those PDFs at any time they want. And like I said before, same can be said with SharePoint. Have all these documents available. Just go to one of these PowerPoint documents. And again, I can access the Adobe Document Cloud, turn this PowerPoint into a PDF, or combine it with other files if I find necessary. And the real value is that is making sure that we're meeting the end user where they're at, ensuring that they're in a space that they're familiar with, comfortable with, and keeping things consistent. So they know that they're no longer having to open up the PowerPoint, trying to find a way, Google a way to convert it to PDF. It's automatically there. Another great place that they can leverage a lot of our Microsoft and Acrobat integrations is within Microsoft Teams. You see here I'm within the apps section. I can easily just search for Acrobat. Can't spell right now. You see we already have the signed version available. So you can get some of your sign notifications here, but also have Acrobat already integrated with my application. And so as you see, once I selected it, this looks exactly like the version that was on the browser. You see I have all the tools here available. Again, I can export PDFs, combine PDFs, compress PDFs, etc. And all these documents are still what I was working on earlier. So it keeps it very consistent. Like I said, we want to make sure that we meet the user where they're at rather than them necessarily having to come to us. We have all these tools available and it's very consistent with what they're previously working with. One thing I also like to showcase is that within your different Teams channels, you can easily use some of our Acrobat integrations there. So you see I'm about to start a new conversation. And at the bottom of the screen, let me focus in on it. You may see this tiny Acrobat logo. I can select this to be able to access some of my documents from my SharePoint or OneDrive accounts to add those to different teams that I'm working on. So let's say I'm working on a group, maybe myself and 5 of my team members were working on a document that needs to be changed. I need to get some of their comments. I can easily add some of those documents here to this Teams channel. Let me just add this staff memo here to see if I can get their input on it. And once I add that here, they'll now have access to it. And I can easily add a comment like, check this out. And once it's sent, they'll be able to open this document and see a full version of what it is, but also add comments there too. So let's say some of the things need to be changed. They can easily just stick a note, say, who is Michael? And say that needs to be changed. Really great tool, really helpful. Again, meeting the user where they're at and ensuring that everyone knows exactly what to use when they're using Microsoft Teams with Acrobat. And then also, again, but wait, there's more. You can also use Acrobat tools within PowerPoint and Microsoft Words. Again, you may see at the top of the ribbon, I have this document cloud integration tool where I convert this document into a PDF. And this also works for Creative Cloud too, to access some of my Creative Cloud libraries, but focus on Document Cloud. So again, meeting the user where they're at, ensuring they don't have to go to multiple platforms, multiple mediums to figure out to convert this to a PDF. It's automatically there. Those are some of the tools that you can leverage within Microsoft and Acrobat. Let me go back here. And again, the real value of that, the impact, one thing to take home is ensuring that you have that efficient and streamlined processes and really eliminating those mundane and tedious tasks to convert things to PDF, to combine things into PDFs. Really perfect tool, really handy. So just to show a workflow use case of that, let me open up my Acrobat tool. And I have this mock NDA. You see, if you're looking at the NDA, you see there's a lot of things that needs to be changed. I don't think that's how you spell disclosure. I don't think that's how you spell agreement. And this is a little bit outdated. So I'm gonna need to make some changes here just to show a whole workflow of how you can use Acrobat, Sign, as well as Microsoft's tools together. So I'm gonna make these changes because I'm already editing this document. Clean this up a little bit. Prepared by yours truly. I'm gonna adjust this date. I believe it's the 7th. Sometimes my memory removes from me. Boom, boom. I'm gonna scroll a little bit further down to see if there's any changes that needs to be met. That's not how you spell disclosure again. And I'm sending this document to my long lost brother, Chris. And I don't think our mother would be happy if I spelled our last name wrong. So let me clean that up as well. Let me put his email address there. Perfect. I think that looks a lot cleaner. I think that looks better. So I'm gonna save this. And now that it's saved, I can easily go to sign and prepare to send this out to my brother. So again, I'm already here. I can choose one of these tools to easily begin to send this document to him, or I can just go here to the send tab. And I'm just input his information. And I do want him to input a password. It should be a password that we both know pretty well. So I'm gonna input that to have more security to the document, ensuring that, you know, he is who he says he is. Hopefully he doesn't forget his last names and whatnot, to understand that this document needs to be signed. Go here to a message. I want to change this name to Global Corp NDA. And the nice thing is, once I change that, it automatically changed the message here. So he knows exactly what we need to be signed. But also I want to add a little customized message because I know who my brother is. He is kind of a procrastinator. So I'm gonna make sure he has a little bit more initiative to fill out this document. So please review and complete the NDA, or I'm telling mom. Because I know he doesn't want to have any troubles. I know he wants a Christmas gift coming up soon. I'm gonna add that file. I already had it saved. Again, I can pull it from my OneDrive or any other platforms I'm using. I'm just choose to pull it from my computer. I already have it available here. So now it's there. So I'm gonna select next. And while submitting, it's actually processing the document to understand exactly what's in it. But also you'll see in a moment that's gonna leverage Adobe Sensei AI technology to really want to put in some of the fields. And may notice that this is a document that needs to be added some fields exactly when I was speaking to it. So I'm gonna leverage that technology because I like to work smarter, not harder. I don't want to manually input the fields. I'm gonna let it do it for me. So I can scroll down again. Document looks clean. Those changes are made. My name is spelled correctly, which is nice. The date is correct. His name is spelled correctly. Email, oh, I spelled that wrong. I'm gonna need to make some changes. I'm gonna scroll a little bit further down. And you can also see that those fields were automatically added. So I'm gonna delete, I can also delete a couple of these. Again, the signature was already added. I'm gonna need his full name. The nice thing is I can select this and make some changes. So I'm gonna right click, edit. I don't necessarily need his signature right there. I need his name. So I can easily make those changes automatically. Again, I'm doing this really quickly just to show the ease of use of doing that. And also a date. Nice thing is on the right-hand side, I can add some other fields if I find necessary. I do recommend that if y'all want to have questions or want to learn more about these different functions and tools about Acrobat and Sign, go to the Adobe Dojo. That's our YouTube channel where myself and a number of my colleagues have best tips, tutorials, and great videos on how to leverage some of these tools. So I think this looks nice. I feel like this is fine. I'm gonna send this. But if I wanted to, I could save this as a template. So later on in the future, I can easily have this available. Again, like I like to work smarter, not harder, but I don't think I'm gonna send another NDA document to Chris. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. So I'm gonna send this document. Again, some of the fields are not reviewed, but I feel pretty comfortable where we're at. But it gives me the option to review a little bit further if I find necessary. I'm gonna send this. So the NDA has been sent. So now I'm gonna be quote unquote in my shoes of Chris. I'm on his mobile phone. Please don't tell him I'm on his phone. I'm gonna open up our email. And you see within the email, you see that already came through. A document sent by yours truly is I'm requesting his signature. And so you can see exactly that. And he also sees a message I'm telling mom if he doesn't get this filled out. So I'm pretty sure he's going to work on filling this out right here, right now. And again, y'all remember I put that password there. So I'm gonna input the password. And now I can access the document. And for the IT folks, that's helpful to know that you can ensure that those documents are secure and ensuring that those who need access to the document will be able to view it and sign it. So we're looking at the document. It looks pretty clean, looks pretty smooth. We can easily just go down here, click start, and you see tap to sign. So I can turn my phone sideways, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna type his name. Perfect, apply. I'm gonna zoom in just so y'all can see this. Once I input his name, you see the full name is automatically there. The date was automatically placed there too. So really helpful tool, again, saving a lot of time, making it super easy for yourself as well as the end user who's receiving the document to be able to sign this and get this back to whoever needs access to it. I'm gonna select finish, make sure tap sign is done, and now we're good to go. So once I've already completed this, I can go back into sign. Like I said, I'm a really persistent worker. I want to make sure things get done. I'm gonna go to manage documents, and you can see nothing is waiting on me again. But you can also see that I've already completed this. The document automatically appeared in my completed section, the title, as well as the date. So if I wanted to open it, I could as well. But I also want to show y'all another one of our AI technologies, which leveraging that can be used within Acrobat Reader, which I was leveraging before. I'm gonna go here into Acrobat, see if I can find the document. See if I can find it and leverage liquid mode. It disappears. Perfect. So you see, I'm already with a presentation. I have a nice little visual, but leveraging our Adobe Sensei technology, we have liquid mode. This will enable users who need accessibility tools to read these documents to find exactly what they're looking for. They can pull some things up. They have different drop downs to find more information. It's a more cleaner, smoother visual, which is really nice and helpful to view for those users who are on their tablets, on their machine, on their phones, and reading documents. And I can switch back easily just by selecting that button. So with that being said, thank you all. Hopefully this was a very helpful session for you all. A lot of information which you can manage with using the Admin Console for Enterprise, the different UI capabilities and functions of Acrobat and Acrobat Sign, but also a number of Microsoft 365 integrations. So hopefully y'all can take something away, and don't hesitate to go to the Adobe Dojo. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Kyrie. We now open it up to the floor. Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? More than happy to see what we can answer while we still have some time left within this hour. Again, want to take the time to thank all of you for taking out the hour to spend with us today. Hopefully you came out with some information that can help you leverage your investments in these larger software packages such as Microsoft and Adobe, and how they can work together to build efficiencies within your environment. So open the floor now to any questions. If people want to ask through the chat, more than happy to work them through there. Not seeing any questions come through, and nothing in the chat, but oh, here we go. We got one. Jeffrey, see your question out there. So question is, after a document is signed, does it stay in the Adobe Drive, or let's say Adobe Cloud, or do you download the file and save to where you wish? The answer is you save it to wherever you wish. Once the document is fully executed within the sign service, meaning all signers have executed, the document is complete, you then have the ability to store that document wherever you wish. And if you are using a product like Sign for Enterprise, you can build workflows that in essence will take that executed document and move it into the drive space you wish it to be in.
I did want to add quickly that that was leveraged within the Power Automate that I mentioned before, that you can, once I got that document signed, I was able to access it within SharePoint, because that's where I have that Power Automate flow sent to. Once that document is signed, it'll be within my SharePoint folders.
Perfect. Another question in there. Does Adobe Sign require recipients to have an Adobe ID or credential in some way with Adobe? Kyrie, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, but the answer is no. Effectively, anyone, truthfully, the only individual that requires a license and or an ID to log in is the person sending the document for signature. All other individuals that are actually signing the document truly only require a web browser and a device to sign with. So any internet connection and a device, the user can sign using the web browser functionality that Sign utilizes. So there's no license or ID required for users or signers that are not the initiator of the document. Someone's asked what happens if a user already has a personal account with Adobe under their work email and they move to a managed enterprise system. Effectively, when you do move to a federated ID, that means you have effectively federated your domain. So the personal ID will still exist for that email address, and any storage that they have for that personal ID will remain. However, they would move forward with the federated ID system, only gaining access to the Adobe applications using the single sign-on if it was integrated. Someone wants to see the side for size file limitations. Absolutely. I will bring that. I was hanging around at the end of this document here. So this slide here really outlines what each product is capable of when it does come to sign. So Acrobat Standard includes unlimited access to sign. However, there's no user management in there. So admins do not have the ability to view any activities of their users if you're utilizing out of Acrobat Standard. Acrobat Pro takes that and adds the admin functionality as well as some other things such as branding and the ability to send mega sign up to 50 documents at a time. So when we do say max transactions per match pages per transaction, Acrobat Pro is 100. Now, when we say max signers per transaction, Acrobat Pro is 25, and the sign solutions are also 25. If you were sending a document to up to 25 different people, all to sign it individually, Adobe does consider that one transaction. The send of the document itself is going to consume the transaction. If there's 25 signers, there's still only one transaction utilized on the send of that particular document. MS integrations are included in many of the software packages we're looking at. Certain things are only going to be available for Acrobat Sign for Enterprise when we get into deeper integrations. However, Acrobat Standard and Acrobat Pro integrate completely into Office 365. The only limitation with Acrobat Standard is it doesn't integrate with PowerPoint for some reason. That is the only Office 365 product Acrobat Standard would not be able to integrate directly with. And of course, the Teams and the SharePoint is always available as well. That can be a download from the Microsoft Store for you to add onto your network. Just checking back in, not seeing any more questions at this point. Again, want to take the time to thank all of you for joining us today and being part of this event. And Kyrie, especially, thank you for taking out some time today and spending with us and delivering some great presentation and demonstrations for us. As always, if you need anything on the Adobe side or the Microsoft side, please feel free to reach out to your CDW account manager. They have all the resources in the world to find us, and we can then determine what resources are required to help you out in any given situation. So again, want to really thank you for taking the time, not only for spending some time with us today, but also being customers and being part of the CDW family to date. Excellent. Kyrie, you got anything more to add? Looks like the questions have stopped.
Nothing more to add. Hopefully y'all found something that y'all can take away.
Absolutely. So again, thank you for your time. please keep in the back of your mind the fact that Adobe integrates fantastically with Microsoft products. There's great ways to leverage those large investments you already have in-house and build some efficiencies for your end users, stakeholders, customers, what have you. Kyrie showed us a bunch of different tools and tips there, and the fact that Adobe products do work across multiple platforms. So if you leave your office without your laptop and you only have your smartphone, you can still sign a document or send a document from there. I guess with that, I think we can wrap it up at this point, unless there's any other questions. Kyrie, again, thank you. And everyone out there, thank you for your time.
Thanks, everyone.